Oh, the edge.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Well, the edge. To start, we put in a Vox. Vox arrive yet? Try switching to the Tonex. There you go, Tonex. All right. I'll even disable the stereo image for now, okay? Okay? Yeah. The stereo image. I disabled it here. And the edge? He uses parallel topology, right? He uses 2 delays in parallel. So we change the topology here to dual. 2 delays in parallel. The DSP one. The edge configures with minimum sim, C. Right? He sets a minimum C there. And I'm going to position this DSP to the left. Now you're hearing it, it's centered. I'm going to move it to the left. You see that you can do anything, right? I've already moved it 100% on to the left. Yeah. The DSP is here on the left? Okay. Great. Now, let's enable DSP2. I'm also going to put a digital delay on DSP2, okay? And now I'm going to add a dotted eighth note on DSP2. It's still centered. I'm going to drag this dotted eighth note to the right. Now we have a 16th note on the left and a dotted eighth note on the right. That's right. But let's continue. The time space really brings many possibilities. You can modulate the DSPs. I can, for example, modulate the glass delay. In vibrato. Now the one on the left. Here I will modulate in vibrato. And now on DSP2 oops, I modulated 2 here in vibrato. Now I will modulate 1. So in chorus 1, in chorus, there it is. Look how it already changes, wow. I'm gonna turn on overdrive. And one of the characteristics of the delay and delay sound is the way they recorded. Because they placed 2 Vox in the same room. Yes. So when one Vox released a repetition, let's say the left Vox, this sound, the sound leaked into the right microphone, and the right Vox leaked into the left microphone, creating a crossover. But due to the distance between the amplifier and the microphone, there was a delay in this repetition. It wasn't just leaking. It took some time to reach the other side. And this was, for me, the cherry on top. Here we are talking about the main Vox, eighth note, quarter note, dotted eighth note. But the space team, one of the stereo images we bring, it simulates his room. It's a stereo image algorithm that we call Spielbeider Edge.
Which is that leakage.
Yes, it starts leaking to the left and to the right. I'll go higher. Then you start to hear, it gives a ricochet like that. Uh-huh. And so, you can reach it if you play and pull. It's not without touching. YouTube, but... Man.
Really fantastic.
If you want to adjust the tap, it has tap tempo. We're working on rhythmic figures. You can increase the BPM here or do the tap.
And you can do the tap
with the foot. Can you do it with the foot on the pedal or even on the controller, right?
Man, that's awesome.
And the cool thing is, you can do the tap here on the controller, which is synchronized with the time space and via MIDI wirelessly. So like the controller, it synchronizes with the time space and with the spacewalk wireless communication.
That's it, man. It's great you mentioned it, because that was one of the things I found really interesting, and I hadn't seen anyone do it the way you implemented it in the pedals, is to make this communication between the controller, the Supernova, then the Titan, with the other pedals, the delay and the reverb, and this is wireless. You don't have anything connecting one to the other there for you to control. I had never seen anyone do this. You even mentioned another company that did it, but it was via Bluetooth. It's completely different.
Yes.
But I found that really cool. And when I was taking a look at the controllers, I saw that you made the controller before the pedals.
That's right.
But the wireless part was already in the project. So that when you You were already thinking about the pedals
Yes.
when you were making the controller. Before selling the first one? Man, really cool. How did this idea come about?
This. Ah, it's a long road, you know? It's a long story. But it culminated in the controller. I had several ideas. You were even mentioning a bit about N2 audio, right? That had an overdrive there, which already has its own control system, right?
Man, it's fantastic.
One of the initial prototypes of the controller was a pedal. That had an intelligent control system. And then I started to see that I wouldn't solve my problem of wanting to move from one situation to another using that pedal. No matter how much I tried to make the pedal that would solve my situation. Totally. And then the solution evolved from a pedal, which I decided to launch as a tap dance pedal, to the controller. I said, no, I'm going to have to make the controller. And it has to have all possible communications. It doesn't matter what code I'm going to put in there for now. Just put the hardware. Then I added the USB host. At the time I launched the controller, it didn't exist. Tonex? When Tonex came along, we created the code. We keep creating the code, but the USB hardware is there. If I have USB, if I have wireless communication, if I have loop communication with a traditional pedal, if I have MIDI, if I have all the communications, I have a remote switch that changes the amp channel, this controller controls everything. And that was the definition. How cool. A setup, a controller where a single press could solve any situation. Regardless of whether we changed the market equipment, the equipment evolved, this controller was ready for battle. So it's been 5 years now, it's reaching the 5th year on the market, right? And it's still up there.
It's cool because you made it practically future-proof.
It's future-proof. That's the concept. It's not the most profitable, okay? It's not what makes money. Just a heads up. It's not a financially smart option, but your clients will love you.
No, I would assume, because you embedded a lot of technology and innovation into your product, which for the time you were already thinking about possibilities that could arise in the future and that your controller would be able to work with all of that. So the amount of embedded technology you're going to put in it will have a cost, obviously, for you to be able to do all that. And you'll have to think about how you're going to integrate all of that down the line.
Solve it later.
Solve it later.
You have years for that. No, okay, I'll think about it later, but it's there. I start thinking about the hardware, the first code, version 1 of the controller. Those who saw it, not many people did, it was a simplified version of everything it is today, of all the options it offers, of functions, of foot. It was a very simple version. Then we created the code, together with the clients. We would listen to the feedback. Man, I didn't need to worry about the ideas for this product. I just needed to listen to my clients, understand what their problem was, and create the solution through the code. The hardware you already had,
And that's it. Serve the guitarist.
fantastic.